I never thought I'd spend Easter dinner in a hospital waiting room. Wine-soaked shirt, blood running down my forehead, texting my lawyer 4 words. Phase 1 is complete. But let me start from the beginning. My name's Henry Wallace, 63 years old, retired accountant, widower. My wife, Linda, passed away 5 years ago from cancer. Since then, I've lived alone in our 3-bedroom house in North Vancouver, the one we bought back in 1992 for $170,000. It was small, quiet, tucked beneath the shadow of Grouse Mountain. Today, the neighborhood's worth millions. Teslas replaced pickup trucks. Young professionals replaced neighbors I'd known for decades. But the walls inside my house never changed. Every photo, every creak of the wooden floor, every trace of Linda's scent in the linen closet, still there. Still her. Since she died, I've kept her garden alive. Tulips, hydrangeas, lavender. Every morning, I water them with her old metal can, the one dented on the side. I still talk to her sometimes, out loud. I know she doesn't answer, but somehow, I feel she hears me. My son Michael is 32. He works in pharmaceutical sales, a job that seems to require more charm than ethics. He's married to Vanessa, and they have 2 kids, Sophie, 8, and Noah, 6. A picture-perfect family. Christmas cards in coordinated sweaters. Family portraits on beaches. Everything polished. Everything for show. I don't see them much anymore. Once a month, maybe less. Birthdays, holidays, obligatory dinners. Michael always promises we'll do more soon, but soon never comes. Still, I host Easter dinner every year. It was Linda's favorite holiday. Spring, renewal, forgiveness. She used to bake her famous hot cross buns while humming old Elton John tunes, hair pinned back with a pencil. So, even now, I do it for her. The ritual keeps me sane, keeps me anchored. Saturday afternoon, I started early. The kitchen smelled like rosemary, garlic, and memory. The lamb roasted slowly in the oven, vegetables drizzled in olive oil. I polished Linda's silverware and set the table with her old floral china. The good kind, the one she said made every meal feel like love. At 3 o'clock, I heard the hum of a Tesla pulling into the driveway. Through the kitchen window, I saw them unload. Vanessa in a beige coat, Michael in his tailored casuals, kids bouncing out with pastel baskets. They looked like an ad for suburban perfection. Vanessa carried a bottle of Okanagan Red. Expensive, of course. She only brought expensive things when she wanted something. "Dad," Michael said, hugging me stiffly. His cologne smelled like confidence and sales targets. "House looks great." The kids rushed in for hugs. Pure joy. No agenda. Vanessa followed, smile precise, polished, her lipstick the color of ambition. "Henry, thank you for having us," she said smoothly. "This wine's exceptional. You'll love it." "You didn't have to bring anything," I replied. "Oh, I insist," she said, her tone sugar over steel. We moved to the living room. Michael looked oddly formal, hands clasped, a sign I recognized from years of audits, someone preparing to deliver bad news. "So, Dad," he began, glancing at Vanessa, "we've been thinking about your situation." I raised an eyebrow. "My situation?" Vanessa leaned forward, perfectly rehearsed. "Living here alone in this big house. It's a lot to manage. We just worry about you. What if something happens? A fall, an emergency." "I have my phone," I interrupted. "My neighbors check in." They exchange that silent, married look, the one that says stick to the plan. Michael continued. "Vanessa's parents just sold their place in Kamloops. They're looking to move closer. And, well, we thought, what if they moved in here?" I stared. "You want your in-laws to move into my home?" Vanessa smiled brightly. "It's perfect. They'd pay rent, help out, keep you company. Mom's a nurse. Dad's handy around the house. You wouldn't be alone." I smiled thinly. "I'll think about it." Right then, the oven timer went off, a small mercy. I excused myself, stepping into the kitchen, closing the door behind me. I took a slow breath, my pulse steady, just as Edward Grant, my lawyer, told me to expect. 3 months earlier, my financial advisor called. Someone had tried to access my investment accounts. The IP address traced back to Michael's home. Grant had seen this before, adult children testing the waters of inheritance. We'd met at his downtown office, high above Burrard Street. He'd leaned back, templed his fingers, and said, "Henry, if they're planning to manipulate you, don't confront them. Let them reveal themselves." So, we built a plan. Cognitive assessment, passed perfectly. New will, ironclad, notarized. Living trust, airtight. Hidden cameras, discreet, everywhere that mattered. Grant's voice echoed in my head that afternoon. Stay calm. Stay predictable. Let them come to you. Dinner began pleasantly enough. The lamb came out beautifully, tender, pink, glistening. Noah devoured his portion like a miniature soldier. Sophie offered me one of her chocolate eggs, and for a moment, I felt peace. Then Michael cleared his throat again. "So, Dad, about the in-laws." "I've thought about it," I said. "No." Vanessa blinked. I like my privacy," I said simply. Her smile vanished. "They're family, Henry. I've met them twice," I replied. Michael's tone hardened. "Be reasonable. You're 63 and alone. You'll need help eventually." "Then I'll hire help," I said. "On my terms." Vanessa's voice rose an octave. "Why waste money on strangers when family can help for free?" "Because it's my house," I said evenly. "And my money." The air thickened. Sophie looked up, sensing tension. "Kids," I said gently, "why don't you go watch TV?" They obeyed, disappearing down the hallway. Then Michael's mask cracked. "We're trying to help you." "No," I said. "You're trying to control me." Vanessa slammed her glass on the table. "We're drowning, Henry. Mortgage childcare, while you sit on a gold mine. Linda's gone. Move on already." The words sliced deeper than the glass ever could. I felt my breath hitch, but I stayed calm. "Dinner's over," I said softly. Vanessa stood abruptly, rage flashing. "You selfish old." Before Michael could stop her, she threw the wine glass. It hit my face, shattering. The sting was instant, warm blood mixing with red wine. The room froze. I pressed a napkin to my forehead, feeling the cut. I said steady as stone, "I need to go to the hospital." Michael's face crumpled. "Dad, wait, she didn't mean." "Yes," I said, meeting his eyes. "She did." I grabbed my keys and coat, leaving behind the smell of rosemary and regret. On the drive to Lionsgate Hospital, I texted Grant. Phase 1 is complete. The waiting room lights buzzed faintly. The nurse cleaned my wound, 3 stitches above my eyebrow. She asked if I wanted to file a report. I nodded. An hour later, Grant arrived. Sharp suit, calm voice, briefcase ready. The RCMP took photos, my statement, the stained shirt sealed in a plastic bag. "Do you want to press charges?" an officer asked. "Yes," I said. "Assault with a weapon." Grant added quietly, "and elder abuse under Section 331 of the Criminal Code." By the next morning, Vanessa was charged. No contact, no proximity, no travel. Michael called 16 times that week. Grant ignored them all. 2 weeks later, police confirmed Michael admitted to accessing my accounts, said he was checking on my cognitive decline. Grant smirked when he told me. "That line," he said, "will cost him dearly." The judge issued a restraining order against Vanessa and temporary no contact between Michael and me pending investigation. But Michael still showed up one evening. I saw him through the camera feed, standing on the porch, rain dripping from his jacket. "Dad, please," he said when I opened the door halfway. "She's sorry. Your notice period hasn't passed," I said coldly. "I'm your son, and I have a restraining order against your wife," I replied. "Go home, Michael. You'd really cut me off like this?" "You already did," I said softly, "when you chose them over me." He stood there, drenched, looking 12 years old again, the boy who used to cry when he broke a toy. For a moment, I wanted to forgive him. But then I remembered Linda's last words in the hospital. "Promise me you'll protect yourself, Henry, even from love." So I closed the door. The months that followed were quiet. Vanessa pled guilty to misdemeanor assault. Probation, anger management, community service. Michael kept his distance. The kids' visits stopped completely. At first, the silence felt unbearable. Every corner of the house echoing with what used to be laughter. But then, something shifted. I started walking more, joined a book club at the local library, tried watercolor painting. Linda used to say I had no artistic bone in my body, but I found peace in the imperfection of it. And that's where I met Caroline, a retired teacher with silver-streaked hair and a laugh that could fill a room. We started talking after class about books, travel, regrets. She'd lost her husband, too, to a heart attack 3 years ago. Grief, recognized grief. We began meeting for coffee after class. No expectations, just company. One afternoon, she looked at the scar above my brow and said softly, "You've been through something." I nodded, and I'm still here. 6 months later, I booked a trip to Scotland, Linda's dream destination. I'd promised her we'd go one day, but work and life had always gotten in the way. This time, there were no excuses. I visited Edinburgh, walked through cobbled streets soaked in rain, hiked the Isle of Skye, where cliffs met endless sea, scattered a handful of her ashes there, the part I'd kept hidden all these years. The wind carried them like silver dust, and I whispered, "We made it, love." When I came home, I felt lighter. The house, once a battlefield, felt peaceful again. I installed new curtains, repainted the walls, replaced the shattered wine glass with a framed watercolor of Linda's favorite flower, lilac. One afternoon, I received a letter, childish handwriting, uneven spelling. It was from Sophie. "Dear Grandpa, I miss you. Mommy says you're on a trip. I drew us at the park. Please come back soon. Love, Sophie." I sat there, the letter trembling in my hand, tears falling silently. But I didn't call. Not yet. Some lessons take time to settle, and some boundaries save lives. It's been a year now. Michael sends the occasional email, polite, cautious. Vanessa's name never appears. I respond sometimes, short, civil. The wounds have scabbed over, but the trust won't return. Maybe it never will. People think betrayal always comes from enemies, but often it comes from the ones who share your blood. I don't know if I have 30 years or 3 left, but they're mine, my time, my peace, my rules. Family can love you unconditionally, or conditionally, if you give them what they want. This time, I chose myself. And you know what? Ich liebe fine. The house is quiet. The doors are locked. The cameras are still running. Because sometimes, protecting yourself isn't selfish. It's survival. If anyone ever pressures you, family or not, document everything. Call a lawyer. Stand your ground. You don't owe anyone your peace. Not even family. Especially not family. You just heard a story of betrayal, survival, and quiet revenge. If it left you thinking, hit like, share it forward, and subscribe for more true emotional stories that'll stay with you long after they end. Every click helps another story find its voice.